Once again, welcome to Global Talk Show by Business Power Academy, Netherlands. And today we have an amazing guest from beautiful country, Greece, beautiful Sophia Manarolis. Welcome, Sophia, to our show today. It's a great privilege hosting you today on this Global Talk Show platform.
Thank you so much. Am I unmuted? Yes, I am. Thank you so much for having me. You said it's a privilege to be hosting me. It's a privilege for me to be on here. And I'm really grateful that you found me on LinkedIn and that here we are. Here we are together.
Exactly. Global leaders and educators, I would like to tell one thing that I loved about Sophia is her beautiful attitudes towards this beautiful life. She's so lively, so positive, and so humorous that everybody would love to connect with her. And before I take a deep dive in my lovely journey with lovely Sophia, let me apprise of Sophia. She is a mental health and emotional wealth strategist, counselor, coach, author, gratitude Zaidi master, keynote speaker, and whatnot, Sophia. And let's start the journey, because if I will keep applauding you, it will take a day, I am sure, because that much you are talented and that much you're born with the talents. Well,
I thank you so much. This is the nicest introduction, the most flamboyant introduction I've ever had. I love it.
You deserve this, Sophia. You really deserve this. Well, before we move, and we are moving, everybody is so excited to know about you, Sophia, your incredible, inspiring journey, which is going to touch today millions of today.
Wow. You know, when you said before that I'm just so lovely, like my attitude towards life, and that you love my attitude towards life, and I'm so bubbly and high energy and all of these things, right? I want everybody to know that it's not always been like that. It hasn't always been like that. So yes, I love life, and I am grateful for my life and grateful to be alive. However, I have also experienced 4 major depressive episodes in my life, major, and multiple attempts to end my life as a result of experiencing depression at that level. So, of course, if ever this is triggering to anyone in the audience, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, right? I'd love to hold space for you. If ever anything I mentioned today about my journey and my story is triggering in any way, or whatever the case, if it's heavy, again, find me on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out. You can hop on. If you look at my bio, click on, I think it says free self-love strategies, get on my calendar and we'll talk, okay? So I just love being authentic about this, and I don't want to hold back, right? But if ever again anybody needs to talk, reach out to me, because you matter, okay? So now here I am after 4, like I said, 4 major depressive episodes, and really grateful to be alive. And I think this is what you're seeing, the energy that you're seeing in my attitude towards life. I can't say that I didn't have this bubbly bubbly style even before, and this kind of energy, but definitely have it even more so surviving what I have and coming out on the other side, and being so grateful for the fact that I have a pulse right now, right? Being so grateful to be alive. So I'm grateful that I experienced even what I experienced. I don't wish it upon anyone. I believe that the reason I survived is absolutely to prevent as many people as possible from ever having to suffer so unnecessarily and to burn out, and then to cross over from burnout into depression, because there's a very fine line between burnout and depression. Most people don't know it, and it's very easy to cross it. And then once you cross over to depression, things just get a lot darker, and you may end your own life. So I don't want anybody to ever have to go through that. And I know life is full of lessons and growth, and sometimes we have to experience certain things to grow from them, and some kind of suffering too, but it doesn't have to be this. Get your growth and your lessons from something else. It doesn't have to be this. I really don't want anybody to ever have to live with this. And I wrote a book as a result of all of my experiences, and I'm writing part 2 actually right now, but the first one is called Depression Doesn't Discriminate, because it doesn't. It really doesn't, no matter age, sex, religion, ethnic background, socioeconomic status, whatever your position is on LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. Okay. Depression doesn't discriminate. Absolutely doesn't. Okay. And another thing that I want everybody in the audience to know is I did not have a history of it in my family. Okay. So it really can just happen to anybody. And once it happens once, we become more vulnerable and prone to having another depressive episode in the future. Should we ever be under periods of high stress, putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, not loving ourselves, right? Not listening to our needs and what our soul really needs. So if ever I could leave, I mean, even though we're not leaving the audience right now, but I just want everybody to know that it is really worth it to love yourself like your life and business depend on it, or like your career depend on it, whoever, because it depends, right? We've got our professionals on here, our high achievers, and they may own a business, they may not. But just know that when you love yourself, and if you love yourself like your life and business depend on it, that would be amazing, because guess what? Your life and business actually do depend on it. Your life and career actually do depend on it. And I can vouch, without emotional wealth, financial wealth is worthless. It really is. The fourth time it happened to me, I pushed and I pushed and everything was going great. If you think about the fact that I just got married, I just moved into a new home with my husband, and right before, my private practice and my business was booming, and I had a great social media following. The algorithm wasn't so savage 6-7 years ago. Everything was just okay, but it happened again, and I had to shut down my business. So without emotional wealth, financial wealth became worthless, because it didn't matter when the monster takes over, because this book says a no holds barred account of what this monster is really like, because it really is a monster. When that monster takes over, it doesn't matter how much money we have. It doesn't matter how high your position is in your company. It doesn't matter, how farther along you are in your business. It doesn't matter. So this is why I wrote this book. I want everybody on here to know that it doesn't discriminate, and that also, if ever somebody attempts to end their own life, in the future, they become again more vulnerable and prone to that happening again if they ever get depression. So I don't want anybody from your audience to experience it even once. You know what I mean? Like, I want to prevent you from that first, because that first can lead to many more. Been there, done that. You don't have to. You really don't. And that's really what I wanted to get across today. And I hope I did.
Wow. Sophia, when you were telling me your story of depression, how did you overcome those challenges? Because it's really a monster. People don't know how dangerous it is to be under the victim of the word is depression. But yes, it's very, very important. And rightly you said how it doesn't matter what you are, what a brilliant person you are, how wealthy you are. But if you're not mentally happy, emotionally settled, yes, you cannot be happy. And of course, this is a message of Sophia to the world. Love yourself, love yourself, and love yourself. And loving yourself is not a selfishness. It's just giving time to your soul, mind, body, and you are relaxing yourself. So most of the people, Sophia, they think, oh, loving yourself, it means so much selfishness. So that
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that people have been conditioned to think this way.
Exactly.
No, absolutely not. And you can love yourself and love others in parallel. There's no reason why it has to be one or the other. And for me, the greatest act of self-love is people learning to meet their own needs. People understand. We were never taught this in school. Okay, we were never taught how to identify our needs, what they mean to us, how to meet them ourselves, how to then communicate our needs to others so they could also meet them, in a way that doesn't make us feel guilty for even asking someone to meet our needs. None of this was ever taught to us. I teach this in my courses. Whether people do one-on-one work with me or be in a group with me or come to my retreat. I have one coming up in 67 days, actually, the Emotional Wealth Retreat by the Sea in Crete, because I live in Crete for the most part of the year. So imagine this beauty behind me, right? We'll be doing a 6-day emotional wealth retreat by the sea in Crete in September 23rd. So that's 67 days from now. But whatever the case, whether people are taking my course, doing one-on-one work with me, reading my book, attending my retreat, whatever it is, My focus is to teach you what unfortunately we were not taught growing up anywhere in elementary school, in high school, in college, anywhere. From our families, we were just never taught how to love ourselves like our lives depend on it. And like
Yeah,
I said before, they really do. They really do. A shortage of self love nearly killed me more than once. Okay. That's not how life is meant to be lived. So I'm prepared to give people these tools that they were never given before. That's ultimately what I do, right? So when I say mental health strategist or emotional wealth strategist, because I give you strategies. So don't be so quick to just invest in business strategies and some kind of financial strategies, because at the end of the day, without the emotional wealth strategies, the rest of the strategies will not matter if you have to shut down your business or quit your high
doesn't
position
matter.
or whatever it is you've been working so hard to achieve. It won't matter.
That doesn't matter. I know that. Because if you are wealthy from your heart, and if you're very strong from a mindset, nothing can break you, you know. You are the king, you are the queen in your life, and you know how to move on in life. So hats off to you, Sophia, for encouraging everyone, and especially our women, because they need a strong mental health attitude and they have to see their life from a better perspective and a very strong positive perspective. Thank you so much. Well, moving to this lovely journey, Sophia, I am sure where you are today, it's just a greater height of success, which I see. And when I scroll in the LinkedIn, wow, Sophia is here, Sophia is there. So, what kind of challenges as a woman you had faced in your life? What kind of ups and downs, and what emotional trauma you had gone through, and how you
Oh,
overcome those things? So, please share with us. Yeah.
I, I could tell you now that we probably needed a part two and a part three to this episode, okay?
All right.
In terms of the challenges or the trauma that I've
Uh-huh.
had to also heal from and whatnot. Look, the depressive episodes on their own,
Yeah.
that's enough trauma to last a lifetime. And I didn't even realize to what extent I still harbored so much trauma from those episodes until I started writing this book back in August, September last year. And as I was writing, I was getting these gag reflexes. Yes, unfortunately, I even threw up. I had anxiety. I was having nightmares, not recognizing that, yeah, I still had trauma from all of this. Imagine having probably trauma from before, because the first episode happened when I was 18. For sure, there was things from before, but just from these episodes, I had so much trauma accumulated. And I just want everybody to know, I think there's quite a misunderstanding and a misconception about what trauma entails. So a lot of people are not going to get some form of support, be it, with a coach or a psychotherapist or a strategist or an energy healer, because they think, oh, there's so much worse. People have been through so much worse trauma. Oh, my stuff is very minimal. Meanwhile, trauma is like anytime there's ever been like a disruption in your nervous system, if ever you were really hurt by something that someone said at a very critical moment in your life, and this created a wound, that is trauma. But people think trauma is, having been absolutely like either beaten or raped or having gone to war. And listen, this is obviously trauma. But there's a lot of other smaller traumas that we accumulate throughout life that can have the same impact on our mental health, on our soul health, at the level of other bigger trauma that we perceive others have experienced. So I want people to stop minimizing what they've been through because a lot of people are not excelling at the level that they'd like or performing at the level that they like or connecting more deeply in their relationships because there's this lingering trauma that they've just minimized throughout their life. So I just want people to know that I myself, who's a psychotherapist, I no longer really call myself a psychotherapist because a lot of people just shy away from that term. They hear the word psycho and they don't realize that it's really about the soul. I speak Greek and it's psychotherapia in Greek, so therapy of the soul. But in English, it just doesn't sound as appealing. So I'm like, you know what? Soul health, mental health, emotional wealth, anything but psychotherapist, strategist. Okay. A lot of people won't necessarily go to one because they just think, that what they have experienced is not severe enough. Meanwhile, they can't connect in their relationships or they're not connecting at the level that would be fulfilling in their relationships and they're not excelling in all these areas. So I invite your audience to think of, you know, even I, who is this trained professional in mental health, even I hadn't realized to what extent I still was harboring trauma from my past and even from these episodes. And now, from doing some extra healing myself in these last 6 months, I feel like I'm unstoppable and I can take over the world. I was already working towards actively loving myself, but I hadn't realized to what extent I wasn't necessarily unconditionally loving myself. That's another thing we didn't learn how to do growing up. Unconditionally loving ourselves. So here I am now finally doing so myself, right? We're all a work in progress here. And I myself have needed my coaches and my healers. And I'm
Excellent.
prepared to be that coach and that healer for anyone else who needs me at this point in their life. Like I'm prepared to be your solution today because I know I can be, whether it's because I'm going to help you directly or if I'm going to guide you to the person that can. I truly would love and open my schedule for people to hop on and for us to have a no strings attached call to see where you're at because life is too short to be and feel anything else but alive. So
Very
my
true.
mission is to help you be and feel alive.
Wow. So life is really, you can say, a road of roller coaster. You can say ups and downs, ups and downs, and ups and downs. But Sophia, you proved it that yes, with positive attitude, with positive affirmations, and with a strong mindset, you can win any battle of your life. So that's the message. That's the positive vibes we are getting from Sophia across the globe today, and especially to our beautiful females. So hats off to you, Sophia, for coming out of those traumas, those ups and downs, and that too in a very beautiful manner. With your lovely smile, you can just solve all the problems of your life. That's awesome. That's really great.
Thank you. They tell me my smile and my laughter is contagious. Whatever,
That's
honestly, if it is, I'm grateful that I have that kind of effect. But more so, I think gratitude is even more contagious.
yeah.
So I've started this movement around, like, call it a movement of gratitude and hope. So some
Mhm.
people call it, it's funny because it's the I'm Alive movement, but some people call it the 316 movement because essentially on 316, third month and 16th day of 2011 is when I first attempted to end my own life. And since then, of course, I've been very grateful to be alive. And if you think about it, 12 years later, on the same day, my book was launched this year on 316 of 2023. So 12 years later, on the day I initially attempted to die, I launched my first book. So I hope that brings encouragement to whole and hope to someone listening today that needs this encouragement and this hope. And ultimately, though, around the number 316, I have been encouraging people for years to set an alarm on their phone because after I recovered, I survived and I recovered, those numbers became very ingrained in my mind. Okay, so 3 and 16. And I used to stop and make a Facebook status because we didn't have any other platform really back then. And I would say, you know what, it's 316 and I'm stuck in traffic. It's 316 and writing a paper for a class that it's mandatory and I don't really care to be taking this class. It's 316 and maybe I'm having coffee. And right now it's actually 616 for me in Greece, okay? But it's 316 somewhere in the world. At the 16th minute of every hour, it's 316 somewhere in the world, okay? So I have encouraged people to set an alarm on their phone, let it go off at 316 because when I deactivated my Facebook for a couple of months because I needed a mental health break, people who knew me personally started to text message me at 316 and say, "Hey, Sophia, it's 316. What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh my God, people are stopping at 316 and they want to know what I'm doing? No, no, we need to do something bigger with this." So eventually, 5 years after, I came out and I told the world on Instagram, by the way, it's 316 now of 2016, right? I'm like, 5 years ago, I tried to die, and ever since then, I'm absolutely grateful to be alive. So when I posted 316, it's because I'm grateful to be alive, to be doing whatever I'm doing. Even if I'm stuck in traffic, I'm writing a paper I don't want to write, I'm having a shitty moment, I'm grateful to be alive, to have that moment in my life. And this took off. People are like,
That,
whoa. So people started also to pause at 316. I said, we're going to turn this into a global movement, okay? I want people to set the alarm on their phone. Whoever's watching right now, either live or on the replay, set your phone at 316, okay? Put the alarm at 316. Now, if you tell me that, oh, you're usually in a business meeting or some coaching call or class, maybe, and you can't have your phone go off at 316, okay. So pick the 16th minute of another hour, that there will be
that,
316 somewhere in the world. And know that there's somebody else pausing with you in that moment and embodying gratitude. we're collectively practicing gratitude at 316. So I love for people to, of course, integrate more gratitude into their life. But if I could get you started with this 1 minute,
Great.
what's 1 minute of your life? This is such a game changer. So I have
Awesome.
this movement around gratitude, and gratitude is contagious. Just know if you post something about what you're grateful for, someone else is going to see it, they're going to feel grateful. And you could choose gratitude over suffering. I keep saying it, some form suffering is part of the human existence. We can't avoid it. But unnecessary suffering is something we create. And we can avoid that if we choose to be grateful
Yeah.
instead, because you cannot feel grateful and stressed at the same time. You cannot feel grateful and angry at the same time. So I encourage your listeners to choose gratitude over suffering. This is what I have done, and it has kept me this smile that you see and this love for life. I owe that to gratitude.
Exactly.
And
Exactly, Sophia. And I'm so, so happy. Yes, gratitude is contagious, his smile is contagious, his positivity is contagious. And we have to see the positive side of life, because it's very easy to pick always negative or the negative side of your coin, but it requires a lot of guts, a lot of courage to see the better, positive, and beautiful side of life. So it's really awesome, Sophia. And before, once again, I would love to know about your book, Sophia, which people have seen just now a glimpse. So kindly enlighten about your book, how we can get it, and how we can go through it. Yeah.
so to start, the book is available in most of the planet on Amazon. I think it's not on Amazon in the Middle East yet. I have to go through some kind of different process. But otherwise, most Amazon options on the planet, you can get this book. Now, until you get your hands on it, if you want, if you go to freefirstchapter.com, literally freefirstchapter.com, you can download the first chapter for free. This will bring you into my community where there's other ebooks in there. There's even a self-love ebook called I Dare You to Love Yourself. So either you go to I Dare You to Love Yourself.club, or on my LinkedIn profile, it says free self-love strategies. You go there, it will bring you to that community, and you will get the self-love ebook, and you get the first chapter, right, of this book. But if you go to freefirstchapter.com, you get the chapter and you still get in the community and get self-love strategies, gratitude practices, right? So go to Amazon, but until your book arrives, feel free to go get that chapter, because then it'll open the door for you for lovely other strategies that I offer to get you on your way to loving yourself alive. So
Wow. So this is awesome. And here I would request my all global audience and global educators, leaders, kindly go through this book. And I'm sure you are going to change your life from negative to positive. You will know what depression is and what it is, hidden monster, and how you can identify in your personality before it's getting too late and before it gets mixed with your personality. So you can go through Amazon, you can get the copy. And Sophia, I'm going to get the same from Amazon too, because depression doesn't discriminate. It's very, very true. It's very true. And it's really everybody to know this fact. Yes, anybody can come under the monster. Yeah, sure.
honestly, and it's not, sometimes when people see it, they think it's for someone currently experiencing depression. Look, at the end of the day, it's the third or fourth bullet on the back of the book.
Yeah,
If someone who may be currently living, it's not meant to diagnose or treat, okay? But that it will give maybe a little or a lot of encouragement and hope, because I've come out on the other side 4 times, okay? But it's primarily for people who have never had any form of depression but want to understand and care to listen. Because the movement of gratitude and hope that I started, I said before, okay, to practice more gratitude so we could prevent this suffering. But the hope, it's also HOPE, help open people's eyes. Let's normalize the conversation around our mental health struggles and depression so that nobody ever suffer in silence ever again. So this book is really meant to open your eyes. And if you're not taking steps towards loving yourself or acquiring emotional wealth, I'm pretty sure this book is going to motivate you to do so. Okay. And then the second part's even you may be caregiving for someone right now with depression, or you have a friend or a colleague and you don't know how to approach them. I really give you a lot of insight on how to do so and how to foster greater communication with someone who is currently suffering right now. So this book, honestly, can help so many people, and even people who've lost someone to depression. I've had a few people read it and say, you know what? Um, I felt really guilty and I had a lot of regret, but yet your book gave me, freed me of this and gave me clarity and closure, because you realize the monster has taken over. So yeah, this could help so many different people in so many different ways. It's not meant for like one specific audience or somebody suffering from something and like, no, it's an eye opener for the whole planet. It really is.
Yeah, very true, very true. So this is great, and everybody is going to grab this book for sure if they want to transform their life into the beautiful life, into a successful life, and most important, a happier, content life. And before, Sophia, I say goodbye to you and to my lovely audience. Everybody is waiting for your powerful message. Although you had given your all answers with a powerful message, but still one powerful message is waiting from your sides right now.
I already mentioned it, but I'm going to say it again because it's that important. Life is too short to be and feel anything else but alive. It's 316 and I'm alive.
Yeah.
Are you? Are you?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Wonderful, Sophia. I don't have words to thank you today, and it's my great, great privilege and honor to host you today and having a cherished, beautiful, lovely, enlightened time with you and so with my global audience. Everybody is so enthusiastic now to listen to you. And whenever they will get down or knocked down with depression or something, they are going to remember this particular episode and they are again going to stand up again with a lot of vigor, with a lot of enthusiasm. So thank you so much. It's my great pleasure once again.
Mine too. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you so much, my global audience, for always loving us and inspiring us. Keep doing that. Stay happy, heal and hearty. Bye-bye for now.